phone. I thought it was mine, but apparently it was yours.
And it was called what?
Stray Kids.
Stray Kids.
Yeah, I looked it up for my game.
You said a band?
Yeah, it's kind of like a band. There's a group.
Oh.
So, but yeah, you'll find that.
There you are.
Hi.
What'd you? Oh, it's Sunday. What day is Sunday? No,
Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So I'm only off on Monday.
Hey, Tina. How y'all doing today? Well, 2 people's jumped off. We did have it up to 2,606. 8. That's down to 2,606. We're hanging in there, love. We're hanging in there. Hey, Paula.
Polly wants crap.
5 on, 6 on, 2 likes.
The thing about me and money is, I haven't really focused on it. Squirrel!
Is from the other family members. We're going to go through those, so stay tuned. So this writing might be a little bit small on your screen. It'll probably be easier for you to blow it up on your desktop to read this. I'm actually reading it off of my desktop while I'm showing it to you. We are starting with 4, as 3 was about it was about the gentleman that had bought the horse trailer from Malaya's stepfather. And then 2 really didn't have too much into that. So I kind of want to just start with the important stuff. So Malaya writes, I'm just tired of the BS. I'm tired of the lies. Well, we are too. We are tired of the lies and we are tired of the BS, Malaya. What is going on? Where are your children? Okay. Now she continues to write, Daniel is only lying to the media, and I don't know why. He is not lying to the police or CPS. She continues to say, both of our statements to the police are the same, but the media has a completely different story blaming me.
Because it come out that I'm gonna try to be as courteous as I can on this show tonight. I'm gonna see if I can. Malaya and Daniel, neither one truly cared anything about them kids. But when they had Meadow, they loved it to death. Now, what she just said, I'm tired of all the lies. she don't know and what Daniel don't know is that we already heard it through a phone tap. The most of the hey Sabina, yeah, most of the beating from uh, Malaya uh, was just either when she really got pissed off or when uh, Daniel threatened her or even sometimes hit her for not doing it, thinking it's the best way to correct the kid is just beat the kid. I know that sounds weird, but there's a lot of people out there that think that's the way you raise a child. It's either you holler at them or you whoop them till they can't stand up. That dog won't work anymore. But now she's tired of all the lies. Well, we don't have lies here at JSV. We have her children telling everything they are. Now, if if she passed today like that, like that, what would she say to her children? Just, I'm sorry. They made me do it. What concerns her right now is what everybody's getting. Now, I don't know, again, I don't know if anybody is giving these children a voice but me. I don't know. I once heard so. She can't blame anybody but herself. She could have got out of the relationship before. She didn't have to wait till it got this far. The fella's got to sleep sometime. She could have go outside and pick up a block, drop it on his head when he's asleep. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and take abuse. Now, I'm not backing up Malaya a bit because she could have fought back if she wanted to. And I know there's times when women are just plumb scared to do something like that. Well, let me tell you something. All men have to go to sleep sometime. There is no man on the face of this earth got any reason of putting his hands on a woman. Period. So, one thing she's pissed about is because she don't know everything that's done been told. Asking, where is Jack and Lily? If this person, whoever this is, heard the the phone tap that we heard, then they should know already that the kids had been found, not still be out looking for them. Now there's going to be people claiming and putting up good thumbnails showing that people are out searching and doing this and doing that. But that dog won't hunt. They'll try to corrupt you. They're going to try to take your mind from what we actually heard. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as anything on Leia's part, if she was too scared in the beginning, I could understand it. If that was her first abusive relationship, I could understand it for just a little while. But still, you can take care of that problem real quick, okay? And I guarantee you, if you have marks on you and you take him out while he's asleep and you come clean and say, look, he beat me enough. I caught him asleep and I just so happened to have a block in my hand, and I just put two and two together. And here he lays. Y'all come get him if you want him. I guarantee you, they would play in her favor because, for one, she would have bruises and cuts to back it up. Two, it's between male and female kind of deal, but they would have been on her side. Now they would give her a good talking to and all this good stuff, but she would not have lost the custody of her kids. She could have just done this totally different. Yeah, that's it. Hey Andy, hey Alicia. Yeah, I mean, if she stayed there and took this, then no, that's her own fault. That's her own fault. And I think she went a little too far in the bathroom with Jack. And I think between Daniel and Malaya, Lily got bad end of the deal too. Because I guarantee you, Lily seen and heard what was going on.
Don't know why. Okay, guys. So, in my opinion, I believe her and Daniel are still talking. No doubt about that. And it seems like as I read more of these screenshots here, that they're still trying to stick up for one another. Now, if you remember, it seems like there's
more now than ever.
So much going on Wednesday and then Thursday and then Friday. It's just like there's nothing. I was up for 5 minutes this morning and I could tell you already 6 different things that I've already done. Woke up, made my bed. I got
We're not
the dog
here
out
to
the
hear
bathroom.
you
I let my chickens
go into the bathroom.
Really listened to Janie's messages so much last week that I was having nightmares of her voice in my head while I was sleeping. So we're not going to play that. So if you remember, Janie said she got up, she sent a text to her brother, and then that was around 6:24. Then she went out, let the chickens out at 7. Then she came in, she played on Temu and then Facebook, dozed off. There's a lot of dozing off with these people. Malaya even mentions dozing off. What the hell? It's like, do they have a gas leak at their home? Like something making them like doze off so much? I don't know. But okay, guys, let's get started with the rest of this. Now, Malaya continues to say, according to what I've heard, he apparently likes the attention and it's disgusting. She's speaking of Daniel. Now, Sunny continues to write, do you believe your children are alive, correct? Is this because your psychic friend said, or you feel they are? And she says, no, because I want them to be. How could any mother think any way else? Well,
right off the top, when they started the search party, they went to Malaya's mom's place and asked Malaya to come help try to find the children. That them hearing her voice, could possibly get them to holler back. She said she ain't searching for a damn thing. She knows there wasn't nothing to search for other than bodies. And she wasn't going to try to put herself in it. But her actions spoke louder than words.
Do you remember she said in her first, it's sorrow, and you remember that in a mother's, that's not true. So she's right there contradicting. No, because I want them to be. How could a mother think any way else? Because you said You said in a mother's heart, you always think the worst. I don't know.
Because she didn't want to deal with them anymore. Dealing with the kids meant beatings for them and beatings for her. She was tired of it. And she would rather let them children pass on just so she could have her comfort when she could stand up and be a woman and knock his head off somewhere. Plain and simple. You can't use that for excuse no more. Not anymore. Maybe that played all right back in the 50s and 60s or something, but nowadays, look, hey, ain't a woman alive that has to take that crap. I mean, if it's bad like that and they're hitting you, even if it's times when they're just drinking and they're good the rest of the time, it don't make no difference. You got to make that line and cross it. And I'm telling you, if you'll catch them about nodding out, whatever, or asleep, something like that, and you get a hold of them real good, they'll never bother you again. And if you take their life, then take the life. It wouldn't be purposely, but if it happens, that happens. You just getting tired of be beaten on. Law will be on your side 100%.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, I've kind of cropped off what Sunny wrote because I want you to see what Malaya has written here. But
Well, quit giving halves.
she basically, Malaya comes out and says, talking about Daniel, she says, his true colors have unfortunately come out in the worst way. It's like I never knew who he really was. Well, that's not true either. And I will explain that here in a minute because she has lived with him for 3 years, okay? And when we continue reading, she found out he was using meth or drugs, basically, right the night that she gave birth to Meadow. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then Sunny had asked her a question, and she says, "No, I can't see Daniel hurting the."
She could not come home, and this is a fact because I know somebody did it. She could not have come home next day or day before or day later. They couldn't have come home quick like that. If a baby is born with heroin in the system, meth in the system, uh, cocaine in the system, they have to keep the babies for a good while. If not, they would do the same thing as you would do. You would go with it in withdrawals, but it would kill a baby going in withdrawals. So they would keep the child. So that part's a lie. That part's a lie. Um, I've seen it happen.
Children. But that doesn't make sense because we remember who he really was. Well, that's not true either. And I will explain that here in a minute because she has lived with him for 3 years, okay? And when we continue reading, she found out he was using meth or drugs,
Now listen
basically, right the night that she gave birth to Meadow. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then Sunny had asked her a question, and she says, "No, I can't see Daniel hurting the children."
How many questions do you need in one case? One case. I'm not sure that I've ever heard this many confessions in one case. Well, I did do an elderly person one time that was getting abused, but I still think this has got it trumped. you can go home and see the kids. Didn't say, didn't say could bring the baby home. She said you can go home, and she said no, I don't want to see him abusing the kids. So there's a difference. I know the baby couldn't come home. Not till it's like you said, weaned off the drugs. But she was able to come home, but didn't want to because she was tired of seeing the kids getting beat on. She was tired of her getting hit.
But that doesn't make sense because we remember what her stepfather said, Wade. And I'm just going to call her her stepfather. It's easier that way. I know it's the mother's boyfriend. But we remember what Wade said. And then we remember what Durwood said. He was relaying what Patty was thinking.
Asshole 1, numbnuts 2. That's the best way to remember it.
With the black eyes, and then with Lily getting black eyes on Wednesday, 2 days before the children went missing.
What?
Road because fortunately come out in the worst way. It's like I never knew who he really was.
Wait a minute.
Well, that's not true either, and I will explain that here in a minute because she has lived with him for 3 years, okay? And when we continue reading, she found out he was using meth or drugs, basically, right the night that she gave birth to Meadow. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then Sunny had asked her a question, and she says, no, I can't see Daniel hurting the children. But that doesn't make sense because we remember what her stepfather said, Wade. And I'm just going to call her her stepfather. It's easier that way. I know it's the mother's boyfriend. But we remember what Wade said. And then we remember what Durwood said. He was relaying what Patty was thinking with the black eyes. And then with Lily getting black eyes on Wednesday.
Can anybody get me the phone number to that schoolhouse up there? I know there's a few that's from Canada. I need that phone number to that schoolhouse. So now they've been calling the schoolhouse, which, yeah, well, I want to call the schoolhouse myself. Because here's the problem. Jack already had some black eyes. Y'all remember that? Jack has some black eyes. You know that's not front page news right now. Turn right around. I asked Lily the other day. I said, "Do you get the same thing if you wet or mess up your bridges?" And she said, "Yeah, but they did something to Daniel. To Jack first. So during the time of being gone and at the hospital, I guess they FaceTimed one another so she could see the kids and seen that Lily had got some black eyes as well. Hey, Carol. And if that's the case, then I would like to talk to whomever at the schoolhouse if they've got a um, well, principal wouldn't do any good, but maybe they have a therapist there. Maybe they have, well, the nurse could hook me up with someone. Um, this is two confessions right off the top of the same identical things. See, it was all put off on Jack. So now put on Lily as well. What else have these babies went through? Why can they not show?
2 days before the children went missing.
Why can they not show good, happy photo pictures? Why can they not show photos? I mean, video. Hey, Vic, because they simply cannot. You know, this is my belief. Everybody's got their own opinion. Like when Malaya come home and she got to bring the baby home, I think it was still just as bad then. And I think while she was still healing, I think that they were still hitting her as well. I really do. I really, really do. And with her blowing up and doing what she did with Jack in the bathroom, they could not allow Lily to go to school and tell what they did in the bathroom because there'd be no way of hiding what they did. Okay. That that right there, yeah. That right there tells you that okay, she was afraid that they might start in on Meadow, but it kind of reversed. Daniel was loving Meadow, but just lost all love for Jack and Lily. Okay, and he gives this sopping story that he loves Malaya so bad that you know he would go down for her. Don't fall for that bunch of bullshit. He lusted after her. There were no love involved. Okay, if he loved her, let 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 uh, let me just tell you this, and I hope and pray everybody's listening, and everybody around the world that watches my show at a different hour. Let me tell you something. There's three different things that sets people apart. First, you got to grow up. Second, you got to become a gentleman. Third, you got to become a man. A man that loves a woman would do nothing that he has to say sorry for unless it's just an accident or something. A real man, not a coward, a real man, would not show nothing but love to his woman or children or their children. If it's just, you know, you got with somebody that already had some children. You got to become a gentleman before you can become a man. And what that term is a punk. Using your anger to override the women or children or whatever, get them scared up. Now, children, they don't know no better. Well, a full grown woman, when they start that crap right there, that's what I'm talking about. That's when you can put them to sleep. There's no such thing as it makes all men look bad in one light, but there's a lot of good men out there that knows how to treat a woman and should be treated with respect. If they say no, that means no. They say yeah, go ahead. You meet in the middle. It's not yours and hers, it's y'all's. It works both ways. And you don't abuse your loved one physically or mentally. What he's doing is nothing but lust. There's no love there, or he would not be hurting them children because he knows every time he hurts them children, all she'll give in to him, and because she don't want to be done that way, and that's no way to live. It's just not right. Mm. Well, you seen as soon as she was gone, he had somebody else. Will you hand me your phone and Dallas number? What time is it? Oh, well, never mind. We'll have to do it tomorrow. It's already 18 after 5. Write this number down. You ready? 1-902
1902.
925 6000 6000.
I put 9.
Put what?
I put 9.
9 what?
Just 999.
No.
I didn't mean to.
It will right up and under it. 1-902
Yes.
925 6000. We'll have to call them during business hours.
Which is
From 7 to between 7 and probably 3 o'clock be the best time to get in touch with them.
of course.
We don't know. It could be anybody's, but then again, it could be Cody's. We don't know because he has been there. He stayed there several times. He even stayed all night, Easter Sunday. So I'm sure they fooled around. Yeah, and welcome, Yorkie Nan. If you like this content, would you please hit the subscribe button up?
John says, talking about Daniel, she says, his true colors have unfortunately come out in the worst way. It's like I never knew who he really was.
Doing all right,
well,
Patricia.
That's not true either. And I will explain that here in a minute because she has lived with him for 3 years, okay? And when we continue reading, she found out he was using math or rugs, basically, right the night that she gave birth to Meadow. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then Sunny had asked her a question, and she says, "No, I can't see Daniel hurting the children." But that doesn't make sense because we remember what her stepfather said, Wade. And I'm just going to call her stepfather. It's easier that way. I know it's the mother's boyfriend. But we remember what Wade said. And then we remember what Durwood said. He was relaying what Patty was thinking with the black eyes. And then with Lily getting black eyes on Wednesday, 2 days before the children went missing. Come on.
You see, so they couldn't send them back to school. You see my drift? And that's the very question that I would like to ask maybe a psychiatrist they have there, maybe just a nurse. Um, Usually at a schoolhouse, they got somebody there that can work through problems with you if you're having problems at home. Him already having black eyes come Wednesday, already having black eyes on her, there was no way for her to go to school. And yeah, so they knew the only way to try to get out of this is just, bad as I hate to say it, without getting caught up with, is to just get rid of the babies.
Do you think?
But remember, Malaya's end don't know that it was being tapped.
Leia gave them the black eyes? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so then she continues to say, Daniel, Janie, and Darren's timelines don't match up in the media, but that is not what is being said to the police. That
You reckon? I mean, there are some numbnuts out there, but look here, hey, I went through school, through the front door, out the back, and I still got common enough sense to know that right there's question.
to Meadow. So that doesn't make sense to me. And then Sunny had asked her a question, and she says, "No, I can't see Daniel hurting the children." But that doesn't make sense because we remember what her stepfather said, Wade. And I'm just going to call her stepfather. It's easier that way. I know it's the mother's boyfriend. But we remember what Wade said. And then remember what Durwood said. He was relaying what Patty was thinking with the black eyes. And then with Lily getting black eyes on Wednesday, 2 days before the children went missing. Come on. Do you think Malaya gave them the black eyes? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so then she continues to say, Daniel, Janie, and Darren's timelines don't match up in the media, but that is not what is being said to the police.
I wished I had a fiddle right now. Just
Oh my God, Greg, you did.
Dummy, dummy, dummy. Dummy, dummy, dummy. Dummy, dummy, dummy. Because that's a line of crap. These people, you know, Durwood, nuts, his phone's tapped, Daniel's phone's tapped, Malaya's phone's tapped. All this is recorded back to the police station or to RCMP as they speak. Uh, and will be until this case is, you know, over with, and went to court. Um, and then they will just dismantle the phones and throw them away. Uh, yeah, she was drawing a check for the kids. Yeah, and she knowed with losing the children, she'd lose that benefit. But if she had Meadow, she could still draw off Meadow, um, as long as the birth time was right thing. I don't know how that goes. It's got to be within a certain time frame to get it started. I don't know what it is anymore, but uh, yeah, this right here is just telling on herself, just eating it up. I mean, that's why I said if anybody, especially anybody from JSV here, if you scroll down and you start seeing a picture of Jack and Lily and it says something shock this and shock that, they're going to try their best to throw you off onto something else besides of what has actually happened because they know this thing's got so big. That's what they should not have done to Summer. And the only way to stop this is stop watching their content, not letting your mind get twisted. We done heard what RNCP has said. We have already heard what the hikers have seen. Then RCMP says that they even found the clothing next to the children. That's all it took. That is all it took. Because they could take a piece of bone that's got some bone marrow in it, and hey, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Because they played this game just like this right here, trying to twist people's mind. And this is something that we can't let happen. Like I said, if you want the truth, you best come here because the kids will tell you. I mean, and them saying accusations, I know she's watched my show, so everything that these babies are saying, I didn't say them. You guys didn't say them. Okay, the babies did, and that's why they're so daggone scared. So it's not us putting words in a child's mouth. These are things that these Daniel and Malaya don't want to have to hear because they're hearing the children's voices. And it just runs through their veins. Just it about kills them to hear it. That's why they're very rarely on. But to say that they're tired of the lies in the media, all they're saying is I'm tired of hearing my children speak. That's all that boils down to.
That is why their lies are okay. You can't get in trouble to lying to the media. Why would all these people lie to the media but tell a completely different story to the police? I don't buy that. Do you know how hard it is to lie, period? You have a small bits and so a lie is a tangled web around bits and pieces of truth, okay? And it's very hard to keep with a lie, especially if there's a bunch of people involved in it. All right, they all have to play their part out. In my opinion, she's saying that because she knows that different stories are being said from different people.
From different people. Not saying publicly that no, it's my kids saying stuff and they're saying it wrong. She's saying people are telling it wrong. But she will not admit that the children are telling it wrong. They've been watching this show, and they know we listen to a little bit of them. And then when we listen to Jack and Lily, it throws them under the bus because what they say are not is not true. Hey, Connie, how you doing, love?
So that's a cop out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then Malaya goes on to say, I'm so grateful and appreciative for the support and love for Jack and Lily. I can't express that enough. My children are my everything. That is all I.
Your children are your everything. So, beating, putting in time out, no supper, nothing but maybe some cereal here and there, put in the basement, come back several days later to check on them. I mean, I might as well get that fiddle out and just start strumming along. I'm gonna have to get me a fiddle that way, y'all know when something's lying here.
I start playing that a lot.
Want is for my children to be found. Well, now we don't know what she's doing behind the scenes, okay? We don't know what she's doing behind the scenes. If she's working with.
Wait a minute. Listen to this very, very closely. Remember the kids went missing while she had Meadow. Meadow was there. Remember? The only two went missing was Jack and Lily. Now listen to this right here.
She knows that different stories are being said from different people. So that's a cop out, in my opinion. And then Malaya goes on to say, I'm so grateful and appreciative for the support and love for Jack and Lily. I can't express that enough. My children are my everything. That is all I want is for my children to be found.
So there again proves my point. Hey, Lisa Killian. So, yeah, that proves the theory right there again. That this all took down a week prior to the 911 call. All she wants are kids back, but yet she knows where they were, what happened to them, but she just wants her children back.
Well, now we don't know what she's doing behind the scenes, okay? We don't know what she's doing behind the scenes, if she's working with police or whatnot. But
Yes, that's right, Jenny. Jenny, if you like this kind of content, love, give it a subscribe and a like. She said she wasn't going to look for a damn thing. That's the very words she said. Back, okay. Yeah, Jenny, if you don't care, hit that like button, love.
I don't know, guys. There's just too much left out still. We already know this, basically. We've already known this. Malaya is not telling us anything differently than what we've already found out from the rest of the family members. Now, on number 6, it says, Malaya continues to say, that's all I want is for my children to be found. And then Sunny asks her, I would love to put out a true timeline. No BS, just a true timeline for Jack and Lily. And I do want to say that I sent Malaya a message. I've sent her a few messages. I sent her the timeline yesterday. And I said, Malaya,
Oh. Well, now how's she gonna do that? She's already told one timeline. Now how's she gonna ease this new timeline in? And I guarantee it still won't be correct.
I would like you to look at this timeline that me and a friend have done. Can you please look over it and tell me if everything looks correct or incorrect? Now, I know she read it because it says delivered in the message. So the other ones that I have sent, the other messages, didn't say delivered. So I know she read this message. Now, I really wish that the timeline would be filled out. I just feel like something's missing still. So, anyways, Malaya says, good question. I do not know. That is what the police want to find out. So Sunny asks, I would love to put out a true timeline. No BS, just a true timeline for Jack and Lily. Malaya replies, good question. I do not know. That is what the police want to find out. Of course they want to find out because none of these stories from you guys make sense. Fucking fart froze. Now, Malaya continues to say, I heard the kids in the morning. Yes, Daniel was sleeping beside me the entire time from 6:18 to around 9:40 a.m. when I woke him up because I no longer heard them in the bedroom. That is the best estimate I can give at the moment because I was in and out of sleep, dozing off. There's that word, dozing. Dozing off that morning. I then called the police at 10:01 a.m. Okay. Now, that has everything completely off. Now, she writes, they're in their bedroom next to us. I wasn't aware they
were seen in the room on a Friday.
went outside, as Janie said. So
Janie said that she seen the kids out playing around 6:15, and Jack and Lily, Daniel, Daniel and Malaya was not out there, which that's all a lie too. The only part that was not a lie from Janie, or Jenny, however you say it, is when she heard the kids screaming and carrying on and crying and pleading. And they will not, and even with this right here confession, she will not be able to set the timeline straight because she was too worried about what had happened and what was fixing to happen to the children. Yeah. Stay up 3 or 4 days, you're going to sleep all day and all night, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just common sense.
Oh, okay. Now, yesterday I put up a video saying I believe the kids had disappeared. If they disappeared between 8:50 or 8:51ish to 9 a.m.
Wrong. Totally wrong. They went missing early morning. Around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when was seen. And that's the only thing the neighbor could give. That's the only one thing. And I bet she forgot that was on there. Is Dernuts and Daniel carrying out 2 big satchels. And that's it. I'll tell for how long, but they moved them from the house, uh, and put them in the basement, and we all heard her say, and then when we was listening, they admitted it. They admitted putting the kids in the basement, and said every once in a while give them a little cereal. I mean, come on, because there's no such thing of just disappearing. There's no such thing. Okay, she knowed where the kids was going. They all sat down and made a plan of what to do. I've got it right there stated by Lily. They all sat right there and planned it together, what to do, where to put them, and so forth. All right, when they got put in the basement, all right, she went on her little, scander, and then when she come back, well, a little bit too late. So they were moved again, and I asked, "Were you still in the dark?" And she said, "No, outside." And then just so happened, a couple of hikers come up and find a skull next to the water. But next to the bodies were some of Jack and Lily's clothes. Yeah. Hey, Tanya. That's the only truth that's been told out of this whole daggone thing. Yeah.
So by this timeline with Malaya, then it would make that she wouldn't even be outside.
You feeling better, Tanya?
So things are just not making sense. Okay, guys, I don't want this video to be so long. So I'm going to go ahead and add the next one, which would be number 7. Okay, we're going to get started with number 7. I really wish I knew how to do lives. I just don't have the equipment to do it, so I can show you what I'm reading. But let's get started with number 7. It says, in the morning, Lily and Jack got out a couple times, but I would always get a call from Janie saying the kids were outside. So I don't know if she's talking about that morning, because she says in the morning, Lily and Jack.
They need to forget about the first and the second. They need to forget about that. That did not happen. They need to be talking a week prior. They have got to forget the first and second. You was washing a glass and it broke. Sorry to hear that, love. I do that sometimes.
Got out a couple times, but I would always get a call from Janie saying the kids were outside. Remember yesterday's video when I mentioned this? So this is what I was going off of. So supposedly Janie would call, and I kind of see that happening, because it sounds like Janie didn't want to be woken up or having her dog bark because the kids were outside, because they were always screaming, remember?
That's the same story she told Polly. You cut your finger pretty good. Hey, gum girl, you're going to settle down. Yeah. That's the same story she's given the police, so she just stuck with it.
And then she says, I would then bring them back to get breakfast. For some reason that morning, I never got the call the kids were outside. I don't know why. She was the last one to hear them. Correct. From our timeline, Janie is the last one to hear them. But lady, your kids are 4 and 6. Why the hell are they going outside? Why are they going outside by themselves? If you woke up at 6...
Because they was too doped up on meth to pay attention. But that wasn't the case in the first place. Only time them children went outside is when they were trying to move them.
the clock that morning and checked them out of school, wouldn't you have given them breakfast then?
And even started burning and melting down their toys.
Like little kids are up that early, okay? My kids, I mean, when they're teenagers, they sleep in, okay? But little kids, they don't usually sleep in. They're up early, they're excited, they want to watch their cartoons and get their day going. And remember, from what we knew, the kids were supposedly going to school. I mean, Lily, yes, she had a cough, but we weren't told if Lily's cough got better or anything. So Janie, did she know that the kids were out of school again?
They did not show up because she had a cough. They called and said that they're not bringing the children because Lily's got a cough. And wrong answer. Because they had too many bruises, their faces were swelled, their eyes were swelled together and bruised. That's why. See, they need to start speaking truth, not just bits and pieces here. If whoever this is was having that call through with numb nuts and Malaya, well, I'm hearing that he's staying in the back just listening and seeing how much she'll give in, and she's just ignorant.
That day, it just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, Friday is a completely fabricated story. That's why it has changed so much.
Me neither.
Now, let's continue.
I one time held my thermometer up to the light and I put it back in my mouth. I like to sizzle my mouth on fire. Mother looked at it and she said, "You going to school." Or either I'm looking at a dead person one. And I got looking at it and it said 121 degrees Fahrenheit. She seen the light right above me. So that dog won't hunt. Dang it. Yeah.
Malaya says that she has an app and it's called School Messenger with a password Daniel doesn't know, and that is how you mark your children absent. And then she continues to say, I marked them absent at 6:18 a.m. My alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. Okay, this is my question for you, Malaya. So if Daniel doesn't know about this app, how the hell did Daniel have the timestamp from the children being marked out to show Belinda? Remember that? Remember Belinda saying, I saw the timestamp that from on Daniel's phone. So I'm kind of confused at this one here. Okay, let's move on. And then she says they received it at 6:18 a.m., talking about the school. All right, let's move on to number 8. Now, number 8, it's just her basically showing that about the school. Like when she sent screenshots basically of the school when she checked the children out that day. There's 2 of them, 2 kids, checked them both out. So what I'm showing you is the 2 screenshots from the school that day. One for Jack, one for Lily.
I've got to use the restroom.
You have Lily Sullivan, then Jack Sullivan to the left, okay? And then it says May 2nd, 6:17 a.m. And then May 2nd, she did Lily's at 6:18 a.m. Remember Durwood talking about that? He said, yes, she checked one of the kids out at 6:17, the other at 6:18. That's where that time came from. So, like I said, from my previous videos, I don't think Durwood is just basically, he's relaying what he was told. Okay, let's go on to number 9. Now, in number 9, Malaya says, I want the awareness to continue. I want the BS speculations to stop. It's running the investigations and blowing up the tip line with unnecessary BS that the investigators have to follow up every tip, no matter how ridiculous. So right here, basically, it sounds like she is in contact with the RCMP, with the investigators. Now, she maybe has the liaison from the RCMP is reaching out to her or a family member, and that's how she's getting this information from the tip line. So, because she's probably hearing every single tip that comes in and they're following up with it. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on the tip line because this video is already really long. We're going to keep going on. Now she says, well, I will not apologize for being silent for so long. I have been through a lot and I'm still going through more than anyone could imagine. I don't really care what people are saying, to be honest. I only care about getting my children back home. Okay. And then she continues to say, I don't know why Daniel lied, but my family never knew the blanket was in the garbage. So she's speaking about the blanket. And then she continues to say, nor did they know Lily's blanket existed, especially my friends. Like, yeah, I see what she's saying here. How the hell would her friends and family know about the blanket? I mean, yeah, they can kind of take it as a guess. There's a pink blanket. It might belong to Lily, but I don't know. And then she continues to say, Daniel gave me an ultimatum when I was pregnant with Meadow to drop my friends or he would leave me. He said they were a bad influence, so I did. He allowed me to talk to one friend, but we didn't talk often. She writes, yes, I want my babies found as soon as possible. I want them home. I need them. I'm desperate. Okay, so I'm skipping over a couple of them, guys, because it talks about the fundraiser and stuff like that. I don't want anything to do with that. But this right here, I'm just going to show you a clip of it. It's the geo-tracking. So basically, Malaya uploaded her whereabouts. This was the day before. Supposedly on Thursday, she went to go get blood work done. And this is the map here. Can't make it any bigger because then you guys won't see the entire map. So we're going to go on to number 15. Okay, the way this one is formatted, I'm just going to have to read it out to you, okay? Basically, Sunny asked, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you or clear up a few questions. She asked Malaya about a big argument on Thursday that continued till you got home and you got into a physical altercation. Malaya says no. And then about the Daniel in the bathroom with the rugs, and Malaya replies, yes, he is a rug addict. I found out he was doing them the night before I was going to be induced with Meadow. He was not making or selling that I know of when I met him. I had no idea of his rug use. Okay, so, but Meadow is almost 2 years old. And then Sunny goes on to say, is Daniel narcissistic? From your messages to Belinda, you do not seem happy. And Malaya says, yes, Daniel is a narcissist and he's very controlling, unfortunately. No, Belinda did not control me. However, she did know her son Cody was cheating on me with multiple women and never told me. Okay, well, in my opinion, that's not Belinda's place to tell you if Cody's cheating, but whatever. I think from all of Daniel's videos and stuff, we can kind of tell he's a narcissist or has some type of control issues. Anyways, so it continues. Janie, Sunny. Janie, did she like the children? She's asking, did Janie like the children? She comes across like.
How much did I miss? WBJD. All right.
Oh, a bunch of nut.
Mention what?
I said, oh, but nut.
That ain't what you said.
No, it's not. Because I just said that wrong. I said a bunch of nothing. That's what I said.
Yeah, I pee like a daggone camel.
Just keep going on. Now she says, well, I will not apologize for being.
Let me see if I can find where I was at. Sorry, guys, I couldn't help it. I was about to bust.
Alice said you missed 2.
2?
Yeah.
And that is how you mark your children absent.
The same thing,
And then she continues to say, I marked them absent at 6:18 a.m. My alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. Okay, this is my question for you, Malaya. So if Daniel doesn't know about this app, how the hell did Daniel have the timestamp from the children being marked out to show Belinda? Remember that?
Oh,
Remember Belinda saying, I saw the timestamp that from on Daniel's phone. So I'm kind of confused at this one here. Okay, let's move on. And then she says they received it at 6:18 a.m. talking about the school.
send me a clip on it. That's why I had to get my butt up quick. Hey, when I got to pee, I got to pee.
All right, let's move on to number 8. Now, number 8, it's just her basically showing that about the school. Like when she sent screenshots basically of the school when she checked the children out that day. There's 2 of them, 2 kids, checked them both out. So what I'm showing you is the 2 screenshots from the school that day, one for Jack, one for Lily.
Well, because there were bruises on Jack, for one. Okay, now bear with me a minute. This happened a week prior to the 911 call. Monday is when they seen bruises on Jack and Lily. I mean on Jack. Wednesday, well, they had already pulled Jack out. Wednesday, they could not send Lily because she had black eyes and bruises all over. So Monday was the last day of them going to school. And it played all the way up till whenever they finally made the 911 call. But all that happened a week prior. So these children were probably beaten, I would say, started probably about 1.5, 2 years old, something about like that, and just continuously gotten worse. Yeah, because they know that if they answered the phone, start talking, said something wrong, CPS will be there in a minute. Yeah, see what I'm wondering. I mean, it may be a long stretch, but I'm wondering. Now, we know that these children have been moved anywhere from 3 to 4 times. Under the tarp, in the shed, to probably that old homestead place. Well, maybe 5 times. To that basement, because I know they don't have a basement, but her friends do. And then when I asked Lily, "Are you still in the dark?" she said, "No, we're out now. We're outside." So that's 5. Okay. Uh, when the hikers come up, I guess the wind or something blew the leaves away from the skull, or an animal moved the skull away a little ways, and they seen it, called it, and reported it. And while moving leaves and this and that and another, then that's when they found Jack and Lily's clothes. So they can tell everything they want to, but that's just coming out their ass. I mean, it's time to put your big boy britches on, because you're busted. Anything that anybody posts after they've done identified these two bodies, being Jack and Lily Sullivan, ain't doing nothing but putting on, putting up uh, thumbnails to get more and more reviews. And what that's going to do is try to delay everything, but it ain't going to work because they already have the children. Now, Numb Nuts is upset. Malaya's going crazy. Daniel's ain't got enough meth in the house to cool him off. And some of their buddies, and especially her buddies, Daniel's mom, boyfriend, Malaya's mom. I mean, they're getting caught. They're getting caught. And like I said, any piece of the bone has any bone marrow in it, which should still have, then it's a match for DNA. Plus the clothes laying there. Yeah, they were planted. August 4th is New Brunswick Day. Okay, cool. Jack also said teeth were. Well, what about the teeth was got me concerned pretty close 3 weeks ago is because that he knocked some of his teeth out, and what was so cruel about that was that they gave him a ice cream to eat on, and that being very cold, hitting them teeth where them teeth were, that would have hurt. That would have hurt. But I know Daniel's mindset is that it would keep the swelling down and heal it quicker. And when they were digging in that old well on that old homestead place, not far from where they're at now, they found some teeth and a few bones. So there you go. No, they didn't want to go home. I got it right here. It said home is a bad place. It said that mom and Daniel didn't love us. And that's sad when you got to find love in death. Stores, government offices are closed. Okay. When the eclipse already said the school had already called CPS. I I don't doubt it. They should have right then. I believe that basement was where their diapers were. It was. It was. One of y'all corrected me. I thought they said 1,000, but it was 100. It was 100 dirty diapers that was in there in that basement with them kids, and that's still. But the only thing they had in there was a mattress, and you can imagine how messed up that mattress was. Lily had to be a little mom. Malaya would have grown. Or yeah, scent. Okay. Hey Reese, how you doing today, love? 4 to 5 days, I believe it was. You happy?
You have Lily Sullivan, then
Good
Jack
deal.
Sullivan to the left. Okay. And then it says May 2nd, 6:17 a.m. And then May 2nd, she did Lily's at 6:08.
Because she didn't want to be seen discarding it. Probably everything that you can think of in a dark way.
a.m. Remember Durwood talking about that? He said, yes, she checked one of the kids out at 6:17, the other at 6:18. That's where that time came from.
That was a lie.
So, like I said, from my previous videos, I don't think Durwood is just basically, he's relaying what he was told. Okay, let's go on to number 9. Now, in number 9, Malaya says, I want the awareness to continue. I want the BS speculations to stop. It's running the investigations and blowing up the tip line with unnecessary BS that the investigators have to follow up. Every tip, no matter how ridiculous. So right here, basically,
It's not a tip, honey. It's the children. Children needing a little payback. That's what that is.
it sounds like she is in contact with the RCMP, with the investigators. Now, she maybe has the liaison from the RCMP is reaching out to her.
RCMP would not reach out to the family yet. Even after finding the corpse, they would not do it. Yeah, tell the truth. But RCMP would not tell anything to that family. And the reason is they know that they would go up there and disturb the area where everything was found. They will not. So that's a lie right off the top. That will not be mentioned again until they take it to court. Then they will show photos of exactly where they were laying, how they were laying, all this good stuff. Malaya, her mom, this, and that, and other. They will not tell them nothing. Mm-mm.
Or a family member, and that's how she's getting this information from the tip line.
No, she's getting this information by listening to people like us. No, I haven't, hon. I haven't seen it. Send me a clip on it.
So, because she's probably hearing every single tip that comes in and they're following up with it. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on the tip line because this video is already really long. We're going to keep going on. Now she says, well, I will not apologize for being silent for so long. I have been through a lot and I'm still going through more than anyone could imagine. I don't really care what people are saying, to be honest. I only care about getting my children back home. Okay. And then she continues to say, I don't know why Daniel lied, but my family never knew the blanket was in the garbage. So she's speaking about the blanket.
Yeah, damn right. Blanket was in the garbage. Backpack was in the garbage. There was a sock that was out there in the backyard. There was a sock that was found in the garbage. I don't know what else. What all else was found in that garbage? I doubt it.
God, she continues to say, nor did they know Lily's blanket existed, especially my friends. Like, yeah, I see what she's saying here. How the hell would her friends and family know about the blanket. I mean, yeah, they can kind of take it as a guess. There's a pink blanket. It might belong to Lily, but I don't know. And then she continued to say, Daniel gave me an ultimatum when I was pregnant with Meadow to drop my friends or he would leave me. He said they were a bad influence, so I did. He allowed me to talk to one friend, but we didn't talk often. She writes, Yes, I want my babies found as soon as possible. I want them home. I need them. I'm desperate.
See how controlling he was? I mean, I'm not giving her any leadway at all, but he was very very controlling. Okay, when she wouldn't whoop the kids, he would get her. I got it.
Okay, so I'm skipping over a couple of them, guys, because it talks about the fundraiser and stuff like that. I don't want anything to do with that.
Nope.
But this right here, I'm just going to show you a clip of it. It's the geo tracking. So basically, Malaya uploaded her whereabouts. This was the day before. Supposedly on Thursday, she went to go get blood work done. And this is the map here. Can't make it any bigger because then you guys won't see the entire map. So we're going to go on to number 15. Okay, the way this one is formatted, I'm just going to have to read it out to you, okay? Basically, Sunny asked, if you don't mind,
She just said she went and had that done on Thursday. The missus that was already on the other side said that she seen the kids in the bedroom on a Friday.
I'd like to ask you or clear up a few questions. She asked Millie about a big argument on Thursday that continued till you got home and you got into a physical altercation. Malia says no. And then about the Daniel in the bathroom with the rugs, and Malaya replies, Yes, he is a rug addict. I found out he was doing them the night before I was going to be induced with Meadow. He was not making or selling that I know of when I met him. I had no idea of his rug use. Okay, so, but Meadow is almost 2 years old. And then Sunny goes on to say, Is Daniel narcissistic? From your messages to Belinda, you do not seem happy. And Malia says, Yes, Daniel is a narcissist and he's very controlling, unfortunately. No, Belinda did not control me. However, she did know her son Cody was cheating on me with multiple women and never told me. Okay. Well, in my opinion, that's not Belinda's place to tell you if Cody's cheating, but whatever. I think from all of Daniel's videos and stuff, we can kind of tell he's a narcissist or has some type of control issues. Anyways, so it continues. Janie, well, this is Sunny. Janie, did she like the children? She's asking, did Janie like the children? She comes across like they were a thorn in her arse. She said that she had 0 pictures. She said you barely spoke to her. Was her words a bunch of BS? Malaya continued to say, as far as she led on, she never had a problem with the children. She continues to say she did treat them a bit different than her grandchildren. I was baffled when she said she found them annoying. Yes, her words are
A bit different. A bit different. I would think ignoring, slapping, pushing, kicking around, that's a little bit more than a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, I would speak to her and give her sympathy when she would come over and talk about her medical issues and the Timu orders she would receive. I was not a mean person.
I don't give a damn what you are. You know right from wrong. You know not to hit, kick, or slap a dadgum child. These children are still considered babies. because they're still too young to know the difference between right and wrong. Everything that happened to them is because they were eat up by the devil. And they don't like it, they can kiss my ass. Come down here and try to slap around on a real man. The only thing I can tell you. Like I said last night, night before, and whenever else I said it. You are a coward. You're scum of the earth. And you need a permanent address. Under dirt. Dead quiet. Promise nobody will bother you. And a bed to sleep in. I'd go ahead and be digging that one up and be ready to crawl in for nap time. Because you're useless on this earth.
Dang, everybody in Timu in this family, Timu and dozing off. I'll tell you what, that's some crazy stuff right there. Then Malaya goes on to say she was worried her dog would get out and bite someone. This was the day the police came. The police searched her trailer about 3 times that I'm aware of. So right there, that's telling me that her dog would bite. And it sounded like from our video yesterday and the day before that the dog would bite Lily when she would do her little squealing, okay? That tells me the dog is aggressive, in my opinion. All right, let's move to 16. All right, 16 says, yes, Daniel was very controlling, even to the point to what I wore. And I believe her here because I was in a situation like that before. We'll have a story time about that one day, but it was not good. And then she continues to say yes and no. He would pick on Jack and Lily mostly, and basically pick on Jack more so, and sometimes Lily. Pick on like black eye pick on?
Yeah, beaten like pick on. Because they failed to do their job. Sure did. Sure did.
Is that what she's saying? And then she continued to say he would hold me down and take my phone away so I couldn't call my mother when I wanted to leave. This happened often. I believe Malaya when she says this. I'm telling you, sounds like the same person I used to date. And then Malaya continued to say, he only shoved me into a wall once, then realized what he did and he apologized.
That's a damn lie because the phone call that we heard from what was that woman? A CPS woman, and her talking about uh, what Daniel and uh, numbnuts would do. That they would hit her for not punishing the kids as well. So she's still trying to hold back on any of that. She's dumber than a box of rocks.
Wow. All right, guys, this is the last one. Malaya states, Daniel convinced me to stay, that things would work out. He always said that. I just want to put my 2 cents in here. Now, I was in a relationship like this. Now, it didn't involve rugs, but I dated somebody that was very controlling, and I had to get my children out of the house one night. Now, it seems like Malaya is more of a meek person than I am. I'm a kind of, if you're crazy, I'm getting the hell out of town. You know what I mean? Not putting up with that. But
That's what
it
should
seemed
be.
like she stayed. And now this can mean a lot of things. Maybe, she was definitely afraid of leaving. Maybe she was doing rugs with him and knew that he controlled that. She would never be able to get them anymore unless she was with him. He was her link to that. So sad. And then she continues to say, I'm not fingers, I'm just giving you a short summary of what I went through. But Malaya can get up and leave, though. You know what I mean? You can get up, call 911, leave. It's, I don't know. And I feel sorry for her that she had to go through that. But there's always three sides to the story, guys. There's his story, her story, and what actually happened. And that is what we're trying to find out is the what actually happened story.
We done heard that part. What actually happened. This thing was already bad all the way around. I don't know why they even let it get this far. I mean, there's no way they could live in a fantasy land thinking that this is going to be okay. Yeah, he won't get no easy days, that's for sure. Well, guys, I'm gonna cut it here, and I'll see you back tonight between 9:30 if we're up. If not, then I'll see you in the morning. I love each and every one of you.
I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.